So he's Ed Smith. I'm Javon Adams. We do this thing 3 times a week. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Make sure you tell a friend. You can go to easysportstalk.com. You can also please subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's the Easy Sports Talk Show. So let's get into the second game. So that was the Sacramento Kings playing the Golden State Warriors, the 9-10 matchup. The Warriors fell. The Kings put it to them. It was close. It was a little bit. It was touch and go for a little bit there, but then towards at the, what is it? I want to say, looking at the box score here on that recap, it was I'm trying to look at so going the Kings really kind of started to pull away in the second half. So 37-26 in terms of the quarter points. Kings for Warriors, and then in the fourth quarter 27-18, and so really kind of taking it to them. And this is one of those things we talk about, somebody who needed a Batman to their Robin. I mean, Steph Curry, he needs some help. And you know who didn't give him no help? Clay. He was 0 for 10. And this is one of those things. It's funny because in certain situations, the loser gets more pub than the winner does. So we talk about the Lakers, of course, that's one of the things we kind of talk about the Lakers. Yeah, you talk about Zion a little bit, but even though you say, hey, good job, Kings, but then you immediately shift to what's going on with the Warriors and what are they going to do to whether you call it rebuild, tear down, whatever, retool, whatever the term is that you want to use. But it doesn't seem like Clay can be a part of that, especially if an 0 for 10 Clay in a situation where it was a win or go home scenario, and he comes up 0 for 10, and plus he has there's a high price tag that comes along with him, and he's going to be a free agent in the season. But when you were watching this game, what were you seeing? It just seemed that the Kings just a little faster, just a little bit younger, just a little bit hungry. I think is sometimes can be a little bit overrated. But what did you see when you were watching the game?
You watch those nature shows like I do. You got the old lion out there, and you got the young lion, and they're both vying for the pride, right? And man, this is one of those situations, boy, where young lion they nipped at the old one and chased him off, bro. And all you see is the old lion just, you see the scene where they're walking off or trotting off, looking over their shoulder, and that's it right there. And this is one of those situations, man, where the GM, and I'm not good with names sometimes, but
Dunleavy is a GM for
Dunleavy.
Oh yeah, no, I got you.
I'm talking about the one who left,
yes,
because he knew these type of decisions were coming, and he didn't want to be any part of it. And I heard already with Clay, with Steph, he has already made the comment, I can't see a future without my other three, the big three, meaning us three playing together. He's already stated, Draymond's, hey, we've taken care of them, basically by winning championships. I don't see any reason why they shouldn't take care of us now. And
it don't work like that, man. It don't work like that.
That's not good business, bro. You can't live on what you used to do. This is when someone has to make that hard decision. It's time for us to move on. Clay, 0 for 10 in a playoff game or play in to get in. It's time for you. And first off, we have to look at the overall situation, bro. Why are we in a play-in situation? If we got the talent we're supposed to have, and the reason is because, like you said, you got a lot of young lions out there right now, and we can't keep up. And we're sitting at a 10 spot, and you got, you think about it, you just got beat by Sacramento, but you got Oklahoma City, Denver. You run down the list of West Conference teams that are just so much better than us because they're younger than us. It's time for us to make a change. And for them, now who's supposed to, like, if you're a GM and you wake up this morning and you hear Steph talking, you hear Draymond talking, what are you supposed to do? They're already trying to make the decision for you. Now you got to step up and do your job. Hey, we got to get something for Clay, or we got to let Clay go be Clay somewhere else, because it's time for us to move on to the next chapter of the book. And it's going to be tough for them because, like I said, everybody's already putting their foot in the ground, and we need to do this, and we need to run this back. And man, that's how dynasties overstay their welcome, and they turn in. We start looking back like, man, the last couple of years of that, that was like, even like with San Antonio. Look at where they are, the San Antonio Spurs. Look where they are. They waited too long to, and I know they got lucky in the beginning with getting Duncan and teaming them with the Admiral and that, but they turned that into a 20-year run. But by the time you got to the end of it, they had no pieces ready to go. They had Kawhi, but he stepped off. But like I said, we're looking at the Warriors, and I'm sad. It's gonna be sad to see them in a few years if they stay on this path, because Curry can't keep this up. He even needs somebody to come help take some of the load off him. Draymond's not a scorer. He's kind of a defensive piece. And then, like I said, if you're gonna allow Clay to sit out there and go 0 for 10, one trick pony, meaning he can't do anything other than hit the three when he is playing well. But even right now, like I said, you can't go 0 for 10 and expect this to work. And it's going to be it's like watching, and no, I like the decision has to be made in those nature things we watch. Does the old line go away somewhere and just, die peacefully out there in the field somewhere, or is he killed by the young lion who's taking over, And right now it looks like he's going to turn into prey right now, because it looked pretty bad last night. And, this, it's just not. It's not going to be a happy ending for them if they stay on this course.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And here's one of the. And you would think, when he's in his private moments, maybe when he's talking to his wife, that he's saying something along the lines of, those are my boys, but somebody got to go, and it ain't gonna be me, but somebody got to go. And so you have to say those things publicly as, I want to run it back. But if you run it back, you look and saying, I really want to run it back. No, I didn't mean it. I just had to say that. I just had to say that because they was listening. But you have to know if you Clay, yes, it means either taking a supreme discount or it means going someplace else. And if you love the Bay that much, if you love the organization that much, and I was gonna say, and you probably agree with me on this, organizations don't love you back. The fans hopefully do, and organizations may, after you've retired, say, come on back and rep now, because now it's a totally different scenario. It's a different part of our relationship. But when it comes to trying to win, if you are about winning championships, you're not just trying to have this, like, as you mentioned, the slow death march until you decide to retire. No. Sometimes, as you mentioned, we got to make these tough decisions.
Great organizations appreciate what you've done for them in the past, but realize moving forward, we have to make changes if we're going to continue to stay where where our goals are. If you're an organization that's happy with just trying to make the playoffs, then so be it. But if you're an organization that's been spoiled by winning 4 titles, and you know what it's like to be there, and you know what it takes to get there, you have to make those tough decisions, man. And this is the first time for the Warriors, because obviously they've gotten to this point with that core 3, and this is the first time where real question is, hey, can we win with those guys? Can we win with this group right here, meaning the core? And the answer now is flat out no. Not even
the thing that messed them up, the thing that makes them say, well, we did it before, was because when they were pretty much being counted out a couple years ago, then they won that championship. So that was unexpected. But yesterday's price is not today's price. And in that sense, I mean, you are X amount of years older than that. We see the decline, and not only in Clay and in Draymond. So tough decisions have to be made.
Yeah. And the other thing for it, it's tough, man. Especially, I wasn't there. I wasn't a guy who was a franchise guy. But I remember there were times I had to leave somewhere after my 2 years in Atlanta. I was like, man, I gotta go. And that was sad. I can only imagine you've been there, and you've been a staple, and you've been, you've been a part of the franchise, winning 4 titles, and Splash Brothers, and celebrating, and now you got to go somewhere else and do it. And that's primarily what the message is going to be from whoever has to make that, Dunley, you got to go in there. You got to earn your money. And that's, like I said, this is the time when you cannot, as a GM, you just got to go in there and you got to do what you got to do. And we'll see if we find that after the dust settles and we hear Klay Thompson just signed, such and such extension, it's going to be like, okay, they made a decision.
You made your decision.